Black Myth Wukong is a role-playing game inspired by the classic Chinese literary work Journey to the West, developed and created by Game Science Studio. The game is generating unprecedented excitement. This video will not only discuss the storyline, but also delve into the deeper meanings of the game. Let's start. Black Myth Wukong is set many years after the conclusion of Journey to the West. So to understand the overall story, we will start with the original story of Journey to the West. Journey to the West is the story of the monk Tang Sanzang and his 3 disciples traveling from China to India to obtain Buddhist scriptures. Tang Sanzang, whose real name is Chen Xuanzang, was tasked by Emperor Taizong of the Tang dynasty to journey to the Western Heaven, India, to obtain the Buddhist scriptures and bring salvation to all beings. On his journey, he met and recruited 3 disciples. Sun Wukong, once known as the great sage equal to heaven, he was imprisoned under the 5 Elements mountain by the Jade Emperor for causing chaos in heaven. After being freed by Tang Sanzang, Wukong became his disciple and protected him throughout their journey. Zhu Bajie, originally the marshal of the heavenly canopy, he was banished to the mortal realm for seducing a celestial maiden and was reincarnated as a pig. Sha Wujing, formerly known as the curtain-lifting general, he was exiled to a river for breaking a crystal goblet belonging to the Jade Emperor. After obtaining the true scriptures from the Buddha, the 4 of them returned to China and were bestowed the titles of bodhisattvas. Wukong was titled Victorious Fighting Buddha. Bajie became the Clean Altar Messenger. Wujing was named Golden Arhat, and Tang Sansang was honored as the Master of Deliverance from Suffering. At the beginning of Black Myth Wukong, we see Sun Wukong filled with rage, then riding the somersault cloud to face the 4 heavenly kings and the celestial soldiers awaiting him. It is revealed that although Sun Wukong had attained Buddhahood, he found the rules of the heavenly realm too restrictive for his free-spirited nature. As a result, Wukong decided to abandon his status in heaven and returned to Mount Huaguo to enjoy life with his troop of monkeys. However, the heavenly court feared that Sun Wukong might cause trouble once more, so they sent troops to massacre Wukong's monkeys and capture him, forcing him to submit to heaven's authority. After that comes the battle between Wukong and Yang Jian, the 3-eyed warrior. The fight is evenly matched until Wukong is overwhelmed by sheer numbers and has to retreat. At that moment, something unexpected happens. The golden headband suddenly appears on Wukong's head, restraining him. Yang Jian seizes the opportunity, and Sun Wukong is ultimately defeated.
"这便是孙悟空的最后一个故事。他一生豪杰，平生最喜自由自在。纵然得了正果金身，却还是受不得天条繁荣。一心想着回来这里与咱共乐天真。"
However, the monkey is not completely dead. His body transforms into a mystical stone resting atop Mount Huaguo, while his soul splits into 6 sacred relics, each hidden in a different location. Despite centuries passing, no one has found these relics, which represent the 6 senses of the great sage. Now we will control the main character, known as the Destined One, whose mission is to find these 6 senses. Once all 6 senses are collected, they will become the new vessel for the vengeful power of the victorious fighting Buddha. At that moment, the great sage equal to heaven will return. Here, I will explain to you about the 6 senses. In Buddhist philosophy, the 6 senses refer to the 6 faculties we possess, which are used to interact with and perceive the external world. These include eyes for seeing, ears for hearing, nose for smelling, tongue for tasting, body for sensing physical sensations such as heat or cold, and finally mind for distinguishing and thinking. Chapter 1: Black Cloud, Red Fire. With the belief that finding all 6 senses will bring the great sage back, the Destined One begins his journey at Black Wind Mountain. Black Wind is a large mountain covered in lush greenery year-round, and on its peak sits a temple dedicated to Guanyin Bodhisattva. It was once overseen by Elder Jinchi, but since a fire ravaged the temple, everything has fallen into disrepair. Regarding Jinchi, he had the chance to meet and bond with Black Bear even when he was just a young novice. Since the bear was also practicing spiritual cultivation, he not only spared Jinchi's life, but also helped him, gradually becoming his close friend. Years flew by, and the young novice Jinchi grew into the great elder of the Guanyin Temple, preaching the teachings day and night under the watchful care of Black Bear. He lived a long life, reaching the age of 270. Sadly, however, he became enamored with wealth and pursued riches. His greed ultimately led to the temple fire, where he perished. During the journey to explore Black Wind Mountain, after defeating the Black Bear spirit, the Destined One uncovers the truth about these events. For the past 500 years, Black Bear has remained loyal to the Bodhisattva. One day, the Bodhisattva assigned it a top-secret mission. It was revealed that the Heavenly Court and the Jade Emperor were plotting something against Sun Wukong. Black Bear did not know the details but understood that it had to bring back one of the 6 sacred relics of the Great Sage to Black Wind Mountain, and once again, become the king there. In return, Black Bear would have its golden headband removed. Initially, it hesitated and did not dare to act immediately, fearing that it could lose its life if Wukong's monkey minions found it. Thus, it hid in the Bodhisattva's purple bamboo forest to pass the time, until Hong Hai Ni came to urge Black Bear, which reluctantly transformed into a black wind and flew back to Black Wind Mountain. Once there, with the resurrection spell it learned from the Bodhisattva, Black Bear planned to restore its territory. First, it took on a human form, proclaiming itself as the king of Black Wind, and then rebuilt the Guanyin Temple from the ruins, making it even larger, more beautiful, and more grand than the original temple. Next, by sacrificing low-level monsters, it performed the resurrection spell on Lingxuzi, White-Clad Noble, and even Elder Jinchi, only to realize that everything it had done was in vain. After realizing that its life had been exchanged for many other lives, Lingxuzi became incredibly distressed. It sat down to talk with White-Clad Noble, reflecting for a long time. Clearly, its resurrection was merely to serve a dark scheme, which made it unable to eat or sleep peacefully. In the end, it asked White-Clad Noble to convey to King of Black Wind that there was no need to look for it anymore. After that incident, White-Clad Noble was not any better off. He often immersed himself in reading and writing poetry alone, indifferent to the world around him. Although he outwardly appeared loyal, deep down, he harbored thoughts and feelings that no one could understand. Elder Jinchi fared even worse. His soul refused to return to his body. Instead, it fused with the gold and silver treasures that Elder Jinchi had buried at the foot of the temple, gradually transforming into a grotesque monster with an oversized head. This monster wandered the mountains day after day, consumed by a chaotic madness that never subsided. To permanently banish him, the Destined One must ring 3 bells scattered around Black Wind Mountain. In addition to the aforementioned monsters, based on the game's records, we also learn that both Guangji and Guangmu are not ordinary beings. Each one in the register has their own unique story. First, there is Guangji. He was originally a wolf spirit under the command of Lingxuzi, but had a strong desire to become human. He often transformed into a human to wander around the town, but he was always discovered and chased away. When he asked other monsters about this, they explained that it was because he only had the appearance of a human, while his behavior was still not human-like. If he truly wanted to be human, he needed to live with them and spend time learning their ways. Realizing this, the wolf spirit pleaded with his master, Lingxuzi, and was granted permission. Black Bear then transformed him into a novice monk and sent him to Guanyin Temple to practice under Elder Jinqi. From that point on, he lived as a true human, and Elder Jinqi named him Guangzhi, hoping that he would become wise enough that no other monks would bully him again. To repay this kindness, Guangzhi devised a plan to help Elder Jinqi seize the monk's robe, which led to the temple being burned down, resulting in Elder Jinqi's self-destruction while Lingxuzi was killed. Guangzhi realized that many lives had been lost because of him. Knowing that his path to becoming human had come to an end, he removed the monk's robe and retreated into the mountains, day by day regretting the teachings of Elder Jinqi. Guang Mao, a cunning individual, had the ambition to become a legendary monster known throughout the ages. Unfortunately, fate led him down a different path. When Lingxuzi brought Guangzhi to study at Guanyin Temple, white-clad nobles suspected that this was a ploy by the wolf spirit to win favor with Elder Jinqi, so he ordered Guang Mao to also come for training. The snake spirit was careful to remind Guang Mao that he must not fall behind, especially not to be outdone by Guangzhi. No matter how hard Guang Mao tried or how quickly he learned, Elder Jinqi favored Guangzhi more. He could only comfort himself by thinking that it was all due to the snake's clumsy interference that the abbot didn't like him. He gritted his teeth and endured, waiting for the day he could return to the mountains to continue his dream of becoming a monster. Then, when the two monks set off to the west to retrieve scriptures, Guang Mao immediately recognized Elder Jinqi's insatiable greed. He noticed the uncontrollable rage in Wukong's eyes and devised a ruthless plan for revenge, borrowing the murderous idea from Guangzhi. Guang Mao came up with an even bolder and more sinister plan to cut off everyone's escape routes. As a result, for the first time in his life, Elder Jinqi was pleased and acknowledged Guang Mao's intelligence, unaware that the one Guang Mao wanted to harm was none other than himself. That night, Guang Mao hid in a thicket of bamboo behind the mountain, summoning a strong wind toward Guanyin Temple, which combined with Wukong's wind. Disaster struck, as we know later. After murder with a borrowed knife, Guang Miu finally gained his freedom, but unfortunately, he never achieved the true form he longed for. Returning to the Black Wind Great King, he noticed that those he had devoted himself to helping were of no use, so he sought another solution to salvage the situation. After Lingxuzi left, he fortunately found another wolf to replace him. This was a gray wolf spirit exiled from another kingdom. He led his pack on a long journey until he joined the ranks of the Black Wind Great King. Recognizing that this was a suitable candidate, the Black Bear appointed him as the new leader of the wolf pack in the mountains. He bestowed upon him the title of Lingxuzi and ordered him to guard Guanyin Temple. Unlike the old Lingxuzi, this gray wolf had no interest in deities or the pursuit of immortality. His heart was born to hone strength and skills, and he had sharpened his fangs and claws to the point where he could strip flesh from bone in the blink of an eye. Consequently, the wolf monsters following him also benefited, gaining power, which caused the wolves already residing in Black Wind Mountain to become dissatisfied. They began to secretly gather, comforting each other and quietly plotting a rebellion. But Lingxuzi had anticipated this. One day, he pretended to call for a roll call, summoning all the wolves to gather in the temple, and then ordered the capture of all dissenters. Lingxuzi stood boldly atop the roof, ready to leap down and swallow anyone who dared to defy him. Hearing the commotion, Guangzhi rushed in from outside, trying to hold back Lingxuzi to give the other wolves time to escape. Aware of the situation, the Black Bear was furious. But fortunately, white-clad noble intervened, restoring peace. However, from that day on, the local wolves no longer dared to approach the walls of Guanyin Temple. Additionally, there is still one character we should not overlook, a special dragon wearing an incense burner on its back, Red Loong. Red Loong is very intelligent. He knows that the Black Bear spirit is very greedy for wealth and is also protected by Guanyin, so he decided to trade his entire fortune for an ideal cave deep in Black Wind Mountain. There, he chose to sleep for many years, but when he woke up, he realized that he could no longer ride on clouds. He had lost the ability to fly. Red Loong sought the help of the black bear. Although the bear may not be good at flying, he was certainly very skilled in business. He sold the dragon incense burners taken from Guanyin's place, placing them on the back of Red Loong and asserting that these treasures would create new clouds to help the dragon fly again. Red Loong believed wholeheartedly and used all his spirit to burn them, continuously attaching one after another to his back. However, no matter how hard he tried, his flying ability could never compare to his former self. Unfortunately, those very incense burners became his weakness, leading to the demise of Red Loong at the hands of Destined One. And after defeating the Black Bear Guai, the Destined One will obtain the first sacred relic from the 6 senses of Sun Wukong, which is the craving eyes. The Black Bear admits that although it possesses the sacred relic, it does not know how to use it and can only place it atop the tower in Black Wind Mountain. If spared, the Black Bear promises to return to Guanyin and earnestly cultivate, hoping that this will mark the end of its wandering demon life over the past few centuries. And that is an explanation of the events in Chapter 1 of Black Myth Wukong. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next videos.
师父，徒弟还是想不明白，出家人尘缘已断，心海尽干，长老他为何偏偏放不下一件衣裳？
若不披上这件衣裳，众生又怎知我尘缘已断，心海尽干？